Being a child in the United States, of course, is a lot different than the way, at least I remember my childhood. We keep hearing the ridiculous stories about how children are disciplined these days, or rather, sometimes not disciplined, and the way that Common Core standards are causing some really odd lessons to be taught to children in public schools, which is why, frankly, I homeschool my children. One of the most recent and most ridiculous stories was about the first grader who was sent home with a warning to his parents. He had taken part in a very dangerous game called chasing. Now, during recess time, I can't even imagine. You remember the days we played, hide and seek? You probably can't play that anymore. You certainly, Cowboys and Indians is out for so many reasons, and now they can't play chase either. So I read about this story at libertyunyielding.com, and I invited the editor-in-chief of the site on the show today to discuss it with me. Howard Portnoy, welcome to the show today. Good to have you.
Good to be back, Dr. Gina. Thank you so much.
I'll tell you, it seems to me like kids are just not allowed to do much anymore, at the same time as they're allowed to do things that seem utterly ridiculous to me. Not allowed to chase each other now. Tell us this story.
Well, the story is kind of interesting because this one comes out of Calgary, Canada. And the parents apparently had no idea that their child was doing this horrible thing, that he was chasing other children in the playground. And they got a letter from the principal explaining that this was a dangerous behavior. In this particular case, one of the students who was being chased either reported having hurt feelings over being chased. Well, shocker, kids have their feelings hurt, or was in some way hurt, may have skinned the knee. Anyway, as you can imagine, fireworks erupted. The parents became very upset. The father posted the story on Facebook, and other parents began to weigh in. So it put the school in the usual predicament where the administration had to defend itself, and they doubled down, and it's just gone ridiculous. It's gone haywire since then.
You know, and you almost have to see the letter to hear the totally ridiculous nature of this. You
Right,
put it
right.
in your article. This is what it says. Chasing is dangerous because we lose control of our bodies and others make it hurt. I I think of that and I contrast that with the things they're teaching in sex ed classes, and I think, really, chasing is losing control of your body? I can think of a lot of things they permit in schools today that might have that effect, but chasing really wasn't at the top of my list, Howard. Is there a deeper story here?
I don't know if there's a deeper story in this particular case, but I think in general there is. I think it's the specter called zero tolerance. And we see this repeatedly in the United States. I mean, we see it all the time in stories having to do with make-believe guns. For example, I think one of the most ridiculous stories ever was a kid biting a toaster pastry into the shape, not intentionally into the shape of a gun, but into a shape that was construed by a cafeteria monitor as a gun. And he got into tremendous trouble, and I can't recall off the top of my head if he was suspended. But increasingly, kids are being held to task for the vivid imaginations of some of their school administrators.
It really is amazing. You mentioned also the Common Core as it's invading our schools and the effects it has. I wish we had more time to get to that. We're out of time almost for this segment. But a fourth grade Common Core reading worksheet that features a story about adultery. And they're worried that playing chase is going to
Right,
cause children
exactly.
to lose
No,
control of their bodies. Yeah,
it's incredible.
it's incredible. So I want people to go. Liberty Unyielding is the site. And we thank you so much for your work. I want to have you back. I'm sorry we're
Thank you.
so short on time today.